Hello, Taariq. Hello, llamas. I made it back from my closet starting the recording. We don't have that. You did Garrett's show this morning, right, Taariq?
That's right. That's right.
So he
Yeah, we
has that
did.
fancy waiting room with like the
That's
countdown,
right.
and then he has.
That's
I don't
right.
have any of that shit. I don't have any money. I can't. I don't have any of Garrett's skill, finesse. None of that's talent.
Wait, you don't
Fucking
wait,
talent.
you do have a boom mic like Garrett, right? Like he has a boom mic. You got a boom mic,
Oh,
right,
I
bro?
got the one that sits on a little tripod, like the poverty boom mic.
Poverty boom mic.
Yeah, it's 45 bucks, Odin. I used the massive amount I'm getting paid by the llamas to buy this microphone.
In your multi-million dollar studio home closet.
Uh, that's right. Well, anyway, welcome to the Graze, the llamas community
Hmm.
called Taariq. It's Taariq, right? Is that can I call you that?
Taariq, most Americans say Taariq. My mommy tends to call me Taariq, but it's all good.
Your mother calls you Taariq?
Yeah, she's like Taariq, like a parrot. Taariq, Taariq, come here, come here. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Anyway, it was nice to meet you, and he's here.
Pleasure.
Taariq's here from Volume in Paloma,
Yes.
and I always are you. I don't know if you're Spanish or not, but there's this Mexican song about the Paloma. Have you ever heard it?
No, I have not. Please tell me.
It's like a I don't know if it's Jose Alfredo Jimenez or like one of those old Mexican singers, and it's about his wife's name was Paloma, and he sings this song about her. So every time that I see
Wait,
your,
hold on, hold on. Sing it. The crowd is asking you to sing it. Sing it.
it goes, "Cuckoo cuckoo Paloma."
Oh, cuckoo, cuckoo, paloma.
You're not
Yo, hello.
Spanish?
Hombre, hombre, estoy español, ¿ok? Puedo hablar en español con mis amigos y mis amigas. Estoy en España desde Galicia. Tengo una esposa en España. Muy bien, rápido.
Well, that's
I
how we
I do not
intro
speak.
our multi country, multilingual, bilingual Grays today. And we wanted to bring you on and talk to you. I mean, obviously, you're hitting the talk show circuit quite heavily
Must
today
must be
between.
I have something to offer. It must be I have some shit going on. Like, damn. I'm like, they call me. So, and it's only the best shows. Let me tell you, the number one shows in crypto have called me today. And I've been essentially privileged and honored to be invited.
Well, there must be some alpha or something. What are we missing here? That
No,
so
sorry, that must be some alpha.
okay. So is volume a like a sub like a shard or another part of Paloma?
Nice. He said Shard. So Volume is the software company that has been hired by the Paloma Foundation to build the first Paloma client. And the Paloma Foundation essentially is a entity that small entity of a group of folks that essentially manage and facilitate this vision of yet to be published white paper that chains that pay you money are worth your time, and the chain should pay you money as opposed to just the chain inflates or the chain sits there. So it's a vision, and we've been working on Paloma for 2 years. And we were spun out of Sommelier. So if you know Sommelier, we were old Sommelier hands, and before that we were in the Cosmos, and before that, yeah, I used to run SF cryptocurrency devs. Um, and before that, I used to run SF Bitcoin devs. So been in this space. And it's funny. So as I told Garrett before that, I was sitting down with McLean and Michael Egrov in Palo Alto, hacking on Bitcoin multi-sigs. So it's been a long time in this space.
Time for our history lesson today.
I know,
We went
Jesus God.
how fucking old are you?
I am. Yeah. Listen, I tell everybody I'm old enough to know that if you ever get tokens on the TGE, you should always sell them as late as possible.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say immediately.
I was gonna say immediately that it's as late as possible.
Full stack
I,
Hitler.
I'm one of those people who yeeted, a few 100,000 ETH when it was $20, thinking, it's over. I don't know. I was one of those people who yeeted Bitcoin at $400. It's
Yeah,
over.
after it went to
Time to go.
900 and it came to 400, and we're like, well, we're halfway off the top. I guess it's
Well,
time
you
to
know what?
ditch this shit.
Fuck it, let's go home. Something's gonna come. I was one of the people. I hosted the first presentation for Solana ever when it was called Loom, and this guy Anatoly came in, and everybody was. It was a Bitcoin meetup, and we were like, "Bro, this is Bitcoin country, but we'll let you present your shitty ass proof of history bullshit, Just and you know what? I'll send you in first so that you can get slaughtered by the by the bears." And yeah, dude, he was like, "Taariq, do you want to invest?" I'm like, dude, I'm an Ethereum maxi, bro. This is, I'm running a Bitcoin meetup, but Ethereum maxi. What's proof of history? Like, come on, let's be real here. Proof of a hash? Like, shoot me now. Again, one of those people who are just like, my new lesson is just take every crypto, hold on to it, never sell.
Yeah,
Because
just
damn
never
it,
sell it because you've been burned every time that you've sold it,
I've
right?
been
You've like
burned. Yeah. And
never
anytime I
had
say
one
something
go
is
to
shit,
zero.
oh yeah, and anytime I say something is shit, go long on that shit. Like if I say something like, yeah, Eigenlayer, I don't know, man. It's such a waste of time. I mean, shared security is such. Yeah, I mean, bye. Go long. If I tell you that, I mean, I started. So now what I do is anytime I feel bad about something, I read into it. So I think L2s are like, what a joke, right? But now I'm like, everybody should get into L2s because L2s are great. And everybody like, wow, he's changed. I'm like, yep. Anytime I feel bad about something, prediction markets suck. No, get into prediction markets. It's hot.
You
Just do the
just
opposite.
fade your own thought process
Fade my
immediately.
own thought process. If I so right now we have a team meeting, and here's a good example. I sent like two of my team members. I want you to go to pump.fun and get into it. Spend a day on pump.fun. Dude, we can't. It's too nasty. It's shitty. I'm like, yep, pump.fun. It's hot. Gotta get into it. Like anything that makes you feel dirty and disgusting. That is, you know, like really. Okay, we gotta get into it. So it's this entire industry after 10 years of living in crypto. I always say I'm poor because I've been too busy trying to be right and not enough time spent trying to get rich. So,
Just
that's the
chase the
story.
fucking bullshit vapor.
Dude, I made oh, here's a good one. 2013, when I was co-working with this guy named, Sergey, and he was launching this new proof of authority chain, and he was showing me on his laptop, and I was like, Sergey, this is bullshit. He's like, no, listen, smart contracts, oracles, it's going to be big, man. I'm like, Sergey, what the fuck's an oracle? What the fuck? Okay, you know what? Here, do a presentation. SF Bitcoin devs presentation. Everybody's laughing at the guy. They're like, yeah, he's like, smart contracts need to do this oracle because if the smart contracts gets off-chain information, and everybody is laughing at him. And I was just like, Sergey, dude, you need to lose 10 pounds, shave, and then you'll be a star again. And now Sergey's like, Taariq, how are you doing? You look poor. You're still poor.
You appear to be
It's
poor
like,
from a
you look
distance.
good but
How
poor. He's like, hold on, President Clinton is calling me. President Trump is calling me.
fucking
It's like,
oracles.
dude, I was there when nobody believed. Sergey couldn't get into Y Combinator. He could not get into Y Combinator. Nobody would take his startup. And
Holy
he was like,
shit.
you know what? Yeah, that's Sergey Nazarov, right? Like, fucking hell. I was there. Who else is fucking crazy? I don't know, I always have something where it's like, you just never think these things are going to make anything, and then they are, and it's great. Oh yeah, I sat in the offices of McLean and Egrov, 0DB, and I'm like, dude, 0DB, what the fuck is that? It's like a fucking database. Who fucking is going to encrypt a database? It's off. You encrypt in flight or encrypt at store. If you encrypt in store, you got to reveal it flight, and then they discovered this thing called fully homomorphic encryption. And I was just like, who gives a fuck? FHE, this is sexy, but is it going to fucking get funded? And now every FHE startup is getting funded. There are so many FHEs. I mean, even Michael is like, what the fuck? And then Michael goes off and creates Curve. I was like, wow, an AMM. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Ether Delta died. And now we have the llamas, fucking Curve is huge. That's a big ecosystem. So I just continue to be wrong. So I tell people whatever I say, just go the opposite way. You will be rich. And you won't be right, but you'll be goddamn rich.
Can you keep a straight face when you look at Bitcoin versus everything else? Isn't it just fucking embarrassing that we
Ah, dude,
overthought
I
everything
do.
too much? Like we're like, you know what?
Dude.
we don't need digital gold. We don't need digital scarcity. We need programmable money.
Money.
Fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Just
Fuck yeah.
buy the
Oh shit.
stupidest, most boring shit you can find and
There we
go
go.
away.
Yes, that's right. And just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, and
Don't
go
stake
cut
it because
grass.
then you get hacked.
Yeah.
Don't fucking
Yes.
wrap it
Yes.
because then you have
Yes.
fucking wrap risk.
Yes.
Just leave it on a fucking ledger and walk away.
And just walk away. And it's, I still talk to people. I was in ETH Brussels, and I talked to people in who knew me before Bitcoin, and there are still people who are holding out. And I believe what okay, let's put it this way. So I'm in a meeting with the general partner of a major top 5 law firm in Brussels or ETHCC, and he's like, yeah, my daughter, she loves this thing. She's an intern at ECC. She's really 19. She's really sweet. Wow, you check her out. She's sexy. I'm like, yeah, bro, no, no, no. He's like, listen, this Bitcoin shit is bullshit. And I said to him, bro, there is a group of you people who have been holding out for so long, and your daughter and your son, all these people are going to get into it, and they're going to drag your fucking ass kicking and screaming into this space, and you will buy. You have millions in your bank account and you say no to me today, but you will buy. And I said to him, I said, how many kids do you have? He's like, 2. I said, just buy 10 ETH, 5 for one and 5 for the other, and put it away and forget about it. Because I'm going to come back here when ETH was 3.5, and then ETH is going to be 35. And then you're going to say, Taariq was right. And I'm like, there are millions of people in the world still like this, who are like, I hear about it, my kids talk about it, but I still hate it. And so I think the bull thesis for Bitcoin, Ethereum is so still undercounted. It's ridiculous, because I'm talking to smart people who control millions of dollars that still resist. They resist.
They
But
know
you
it's
know what?
there. They
They
know
know it's
about the
there,
tech, but they have
and they
still
hit it.
refused to buy it.
They still refuse to buy it. And I mean, let me tell you, I know how to negative sell anybody, man. I could negative sell, fucking, fire to Eskimos. We don't want fire. No, we don't want fire. I can negative sell. I'm like, no fire. Let's keep it cold. No fire. And then they're like, wait a minute, he's saying no fire. We should get fire. Like, I am the king of negative selling, right? And I'm saying to this guy, dude, don't buy it. Don't buy it. You're right. It sucks. It sucks. And then he's like, dude, my daughter's into it. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? People, there are trillions still to come in the industry, where people who are fighting are simply going to fall. And this Ethereum ETF thing that's coming, man, hold on to your nuts. It is simply another block falling in the progressive absorption of crypto in the entire planet's psyche. It is going to happen. So I don't know how much ETH y'all have, but just take it. Hold on. Don't spend it.
Not
Launch a
enough.
shitcoin. You know what? Launch a shitcoin. If you're like, Taariq, how do I not spend my ETH? Launch a shitcoin. Taariq, how do I launch a shitcoin? Launch an L2. Just launch an L2 and say, give me a shitcoin for goodness. Right? Because there are people who still have a lot of money and they're still holding out, but it is not going to last. It will fall. It will fall.
Thank you for the intro. That was
Yes,
that was
that's right, Let's
Taariq's
get
history,
started.
and he also is he's the spokesperson and the mouthpiece for the ETH Foundation. In case you guys didn't know, he's working for Vitalik.
Yep.
So I've been obviously digging through Volume and Paloma. So
Yes.
everything's bot related on Volume,
Yes.
right? Like that's what we're.
Yes.
So which one do you want to talk about first? Like, do you want to talk about the Paloma chain, the bots, or
Um,
Volume?
let's talk about what makes money. So we're going to talk about the bots because they make money, and then we could talk about all the other interesting things around it, and what we're trying to do why we're in the Curve ecosystem, and maybe there's something there for people, and then we could talk about all the boring shit about the tech and other shit. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So So Paloma is this Cosmos chain that was meant to essentially came out of Sommelier, and it came out of the Interchain Foundations, a very old project, right? I mean, which was 2021. That was the last century, 2021, and was essentially cross-chain communications, which is now a commodity. And we stumbled upon this thing called an arbitrary logic call, how to make calls on on contracts on other chains, and do it in such a way that you can come to consensus without having to keep the state on Ethereum. So this is something I've been working on for the last 3 years, and there are smart people. There are smarter people. I'm not smart. I'm not an engineer. I'm a sales guy. I like to sell fire to Eskimos. I like to sell water to to the sand in the desert, and really it I've just been spending a lot of time just working on this problem. And there are other people who are doing a great job. So Hyperlane is excellent. They're doing the same thing. They're much bigger, much faster. Layer Zero is doing the same. So is our friends over at Wormhole, and so our friends over at Pith. A lot of these great guys are really, really good. I'm, one of these slow-moving, tortoises who is like, well, let's get back to the core problem that we were trying to solve before we run up a token, which is how do I automate remote execution on target chains? And that thesis we've been working on for 3 years, and really to be any target chain. We wanted to be automate remote execution on Solana, automate remote execution on Ethereum. And we, in addition, in working on it, we wanted to prove that it was valuable, right? So before we sell or tell people it's working, because I have a lot of shame. I'm a Black guy, so I'm very much ashamed. I have a lot of shame in my life. My ancestors didn't run fast enough to get it. Anyway, so the point is, um, I'm like
We
really.
veered off course. Stay on course.
Of course, I know. Sorry. Being Black is hard sometimes. You're like, wait, did we run fast enough? Like Chinese were running. Okay, so let's get back on track. So the question was, how can you make this cross-chain thing communication valuable? Because it's a commodity. When anybody figures it out, it can do it. But what's a real case? And we came to Curve because we really like Michael, and we said, could we bring value to the Curve ecosystem by making some of these AMM tasks on the Curve AMM automated? And the bots are essentially just that. The bots are our dog food of saying, hey, we're building this protocol. Uniswap's cool, but why don't we build it on something where the community, we can talk to them, we can really engage and see, continue to experiment and see what works. And that's what the bots are. So if you go to volume.finance, you'll see these things called bots. Most of them are on Curve, and we've been playing with them. And our bots have been, essentially, we've done about 30 million in volume across nearly 450 bots, and they're all mostly Curve. And the coolest thing that we are finding is that we can enhance the trading experience for traders by automating execution on Curve. Now, there are other people who can do this. Like you can do automated, range order balancing using Arrakis. You can do this, using whoever else is out there, but even Sommelier a little bit. But one of the things we wanted to do was say, hey, could we make it so that somebody who's taking a leverage position on LlamaLand could actually automate the movement of the leverage position from highly levered down to lowly levered based on the change in price on a token. So if you want to go long ETH on LlamaLand and you're going by a certain amount of leverage, say 9-10 times leverage, and then suddenly ETH takes a tank, and the more leverage you are, the more magnified the price impact is. We want to say, could we use this technology to make leverage safer? Could we use it to make leverage more fun? Could we use it to make leverage more profitable? Because leverage trading is hard, right? Everybody here has been liquidated. Everybody here is like, damn it, I got liquidated, I got nothing. But leverage in a world in which ETH, what I just said at the beginning, ETH is going up. Right. There are too many people I know out there who are going to start buying this stuff who have money. I know this because I spoke to them in Brussels. So I know they're going to buy. I don't know when they're going to buy, but I know they're going to buy. So I want to be in a levered position. I don't want to just be holding spot. I want to go levered long, but the volatility of leverage can stop me out, right? For example, Trump could, nominate Jamie Dimon for Treasury, US Treasury, and Jamie says, all right, all this Bitcoin shit and Ethereum shit has to stop. None of that shit on my watch. And then suddenly price tanks, you're stopped out. Could we make it so that you don't have to worry? You could sleep at night, turn over to your significant other and say, hey, I'm dreaming about, ETH 10K. Yeah, good dream.
Never
Yeah,
say that, by the
Taariq.
way. Other people on
Never say
the
that.
call never ever say that to a living
Never
human
said that.
around you. Okay,
And
so
so,
do
yeah,
the curve soft liquidations help with the bot functionality, and does it give you more room to play, like more wiggle room for the
we
bots?
we like to boast. So here's our boast: is that Paloma bot, Paloma, Paloma and its bots. Sorry, my screen just went into screensaver because I'm like waving my hands around like a wild man. We make this claim that Paloma plus the Curve soft liquidations can make liquidations extinct in the Curve ecosystem. Extinct.
Wow.
Never again will you ever be liquidated. Ever. Ever, fucking ever. Okay? Now, I didn't say that, I'm saying that publicly, but that's our goal. But Curve is the only AMM that allows us to make good on that promise, that you will never, ever be liquidated ever again. Tell your wife, honey, we're not going to be liquidated. He put the kids' college tuition on leverage 10 times. Taariq said, we're never, ever going to be liquidated. That promise is hard. That promise is difficult, but that promise will make Curve even more worthwhile. And that's our goal. We're like, when you think about Curve, you want to think about things that you can't get on Uniswap. You can't get on Aerodrome. You can't get on PancakeSwap. Zero liquidations for leverage trading. So what we do is we leverage soft liquidations, and then we monitor the position on soft liquidations to reduce the leverage. So we automatically, even though you're in soft liquidation, with Paloma, the validator set will automatically repay some of your leverage position. So now your positions can stay in what we call the Goldilocks zone, where you have low risk of liquidation, and you're in soft liquidation. And there's more features we want to bring, but that is our core thing. And today, we deliver that. And
So
also,
it's like a leverage insurance concept where you guys
right,
are babysitting my position for me when I'm not paying attention,
correct,
and
correct,
you'll lighten up my leverage load as we get closer
correct,
to my
correct.
unhealthy
Because
position.
you got more important things to do with your goddamn life than worry about volatility. All you want to worry about is the payday that you're going to enjoy when that guy, that same partner from that law firm
That fucking
next year
lawyer.
buys, that fucking lawyer goes and puts 10 million down for ETH because it crossed. And his kid said, dude, we got to buy this. He's coming in. And you just want to be like, dude, we were waiting for him, and we did not get stopped out. We were not liquidated. We rode the wave, and Paloma, so Paloma is just a messenger chain, but that's where we want to be valuable. We want to be valuable. So one of the things that Paloma does, so Paloma does one where a chain that runs about 750 millisecond block time, which we're bringing down to 250 millisecond because then we want to be at the same time as L2s. The validator set is essentially about 25, 30 validators. They all have stake. They all get a piece of the relay fees. And then thirdly, they are constantly always on, right? So because they're a validator set, it's always on. They get paid when they move your money around, right? So the incentive for our validators is we just want to be here to move the money, because when we move the money or we deliquidate, and then we can even relever. So we're building Paloma right now, Paloma bots, where they unlever, but we're moving to the point where you could say, hey, Taariq, if it's going well, I want you to relever me.
Yeah,
So
if
that
I get
again,
further away from my number, my stop or my unhealthy
correct,
level, I want you to lever
correct.
me up.
Lever me up, because what happens, and we talked to Michael about it. So again, we we hammer Igorov every day. We hammer this guy, and we say to him, dude. So we were one of the we actually hustled him to launch LlamaLand on Arbitrum, because I said, bro, you are taking too long. This is where we want to now make it free. Like, it should be cheap. Leverage should be cheap. It should be fast, and it should be fun. You need to get launched on Llama on Arbitrum. He's like, well, I don't know. I said, get it done. And he did. And so we're excited about it because we're like, wow, now we can even make it cheaper so people can be like, well, dude, I'll do this. I don't have a lot of cash, but I'll take a position because it's cheap. I don't burn up all my cash on fees, on gas. And then because for us, Paloma and L2s are cheap, we can do more fine tuning, right? We can say, oh yeah, we'll lever up, we'll lever down, we'll lever up or down. So there's a lot of opportunity here. I'm still trying to get Igor to launch a Curve L2. As I said to Garrett today, we need to get the Curve L2, Curve L2,
What
Curve
was
L2 with
Garrett's response?
CRV
Did he
USD.
start chanting with you?
he said, well, can we have CRV as a USD settlement token? I'm like, bro, I'm like, if you want pancakes, we'll give you pancakes. You want pancakes with peanut butter, blueberry, and bananas on top? We'll give you fucking peanut butter. I'm like,
Whatever it
but
takes to get
no,
me this
wait,
Curve
no, no.
L2.
Hey, what did I say? I'm the negative sell guy. No, you don't want CRV USD as a settlement token. No, bro, you don't want that. Yes, I do. No, Michael, you don't want it because then CRV USD will get demand. Yes, I want it. Like, literally. So a Curve L2 with CRV USD as a settlement token would just destroy this industry because now we would get what? Demand for CRV USD. We would get leverage at speed. We would get liquidation protection, and we would get another chain providing liquidation support and as well as leverage movement. So Curve. I don't want to say it, but guys, but there's just so much opportunity. Again, we're so happy to be one of the we're like, is anybody like DeFi Saver does this too? So we love the guys at DeFi Saver, but we want it to be where again it's like anybody can just get started. You don't have to have a minimum of 30 grand. Even if you want to put $1,000 or $500, we will let you do it. So you can take leverage positions with our bots at any value. We don't care, especially on Arbitrum. If you want to do $50, that's fine. And you get protection. We don't care, how big your size is. All size is size. What we want is more volume because then if it's more volume, the people who are VECRV holders will get more fees, right? And that's another thing that you want, right? You want Paloma bots to keep moving more people into, liquidation protection because the fees get generated and go back to the CRV USD holders who are exactly VECRV holders. So there's just a lot of opportunity for us to continue to add more volume.
When you talked about the Paloma validators being paid not in an inflationary token, but in actual money.
Oh, they get both. Oh,
They
they
get
get
both.
both.
They
They
get
get
both.
both. My mantra, in addition to selling ice to Eskimos, is take as much as you can. Like I even tell Igor off this. I'm like, you need to be greedy, not crazy by levering up in goddamn CRV, but you need to think of the stack. And so we motivate validators by saying, if you do this work and keep these data centers, you'll get a piece of the transaction fee volume, and you will get inflationary. And so you want to stay in and lock in, but you want both. So we want to give them both because again, in our view, it will attract more and more professional data centers to come in. So yes, our inflation is very low. The inflation token is like 7%, and it's going to decrease over time. But we're very excited that validators are like, hey, we'll take it and use it to, again, make positions. And again, we're new. We don't have billions in volume yet, so we need a way to keep them motivated while this thing continues to ramp up.
So the thing that makes money is the bots, and
Yes.
after that, then you want to talk about the tech, or do you want to talk about your white paper for Paloma?
Well, let's talk about the tech a little bit. So we are, everything we write is in VYPER. So we love VYPER as our Solidity type language, our EVM language of choice on our Solidity alternative. We write, so we have VYPER contracts on the target EVMs, and then we have Cosmosm, which is, we call it Pigeon Solidity or Cosmos's version of Solidity on the Cosmos side. So we have to write contracts for both. Today, we are now testing the ability to bridge tokens between our Cosmos chain and the numerous target EVMs we're going into. Because again, we're looking for new ways to automate by saying, hey, you know what, I have an LP position in Curve. or an LP position in Uniswap. I want to, essentially mint that LP position and borrow against it and lever it up against it. We're just starting to test our bridge to be able to do that. And again, automation, right? Like these things must be automatic. You can build programs that run automatic. Also, our execution is Cosmos to many EVMs. We support 8 EVMs right now. That's Base, Blast, Polygon, Ethereum, Arbitrum, OP, Gnosis, and lastly, who's the last one? I forget. BNB chain. We can support any EVM chain. We just have held off on deploying to more. And we wanted to deploy where Curve has volume. Like there's a lot of massive volume on Curve. So somebody said we're Curve aligned. I said, yeah, well, I mean, if it's an opportunity to build that ecosystem, we're really passionate about it. So that's currently where we're focused. And we do have we're coming up to once we're making a big merge this week where we will be deploying this new what we call relay marketplace, where now validators can compete with each other for the relay fee. So instead of the relay fee being static across the entire val set, which is what it is from all the other players in the space, we want a relay marketplace. That means, relayers can say, hey, you know what, for the Arbitrum, execution, I'm going to take, 2 cents a transaction, or 0.2 cents a transaction. But for the Ethereum, I want to take, like $1 per transaction. And that's per gas, right? They do it as a fraction of gas. So we're getting it down so that validators can choose. And then, of course, the way the users benefit is like a mark, just like Bitcoin. And I remember how Bitcoin blocks are essentially mined is the miners that essentially mine a block with lowest cost, right? They get to the miners who maximize revenue win. So you have to essentially figure out the nonce, but miners get to aggregate all the revenue in the block. They get to choose which transactions go into a block, and of course they choose the ones that maximize the most revenue. So for us, the lowest fees, the relayer with the lowest fees gets a relay message. So unlike, again, when you look at all the competitors in our space, they have it's like everybody gets the same preference for a message. But we really want validators to compete for your business.
Yeah, so
we want them to
you're
say,
going to incentivize the customer getting a
that's
better
right.
deal.
That's right. That's right. Which is, remember, that's MEV, right? Hey, MEV, hey man, come to us. We'll build you, we'll build a block for you and get you up. Just pay us money. And then, the more MEV players that compete, prices come down for everybody. And that is what we want. We want prices to remain very low. So it's truly decentralized. We want anybody to be able to enter and exit the Paloma marketplace so that it is going to be cheap. And then what we view is that if it's cheap and then market driven, then it will scale, right? With little need for interference and governance decisions from the network. So we're very, very excited about that. But again, what we're really excited about is, can you automate trading on Curve? Like, can you make more trading automation on Curve? So it's even exciting. So right now, for example, we're the only bots that provide limit order execution on Curve. I mean, you can get CowSwap to do limit orders, but ours are free. We don't charge anything. You can get intents. You can create intents with Paloma on Curve. So you can say, hey, I want to do an intent on Curve where I will just create an open order, and if it gets filled, it gets filled. You can do that with Paloma today. So Curve has intents. Curve has intents. Curve has intents, right? But this stuff is so, intents requires people who want to trade that much, who are looking to trade Curve volume and do these types of things. We just haven't released it yet, but Curve has intents. Our limit orders already are live on Curve, reflect intents. So that's already live. And I think what we're going to want to do is be able to say, hey, but we still are looking for the Curve community and Curve traders to tell us where to go, like where it's interesting. So we have a lot of work to do. We haven't done a lot of BD into the Curve ecosystem because we're still debugging. Again, another thing with us is that a lot of Curve community members have used our code and dealt with our bugs and crazy shit. So we are again very grateful to them because they use it. They use that stuff, man, and it's wild. I think we had somebody did a convex limit order for like 100 grand the other day and didn't call us, and we're like, bro, whoever you are, please call us,
Test in
because
production.
I test in prod, like, and when they finally call us because something went wrong, I was like, people tend to reach out first, and then they do a small test. You kind of went, YOLO, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
scary.
what it told, exactly, but it told us that there is demand for intense on Curve, and intense is hot, and so we want to bring some of that hotness to Curve, and there's a lot more we can do. But yeah,
Well, you guys are
that's where
doing
we are.
sounds like you're doing the Lord's work by helping get some more eyeballs on Curve and bring volume to it. Volume,
Praise
eyeballs.
Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
Praise
Eyeballs are
Jesus eyeballs.
followed by volume. So, okay,
Yes.
what about your what about Paloma, like, and volume? Like, how do we get involved with that? Did you guys already do like a private raises? I mean, where
Yeah.
are you right
Oh,
now?
okay. So you want the alpha, huh? Jesus fucking Christ. I
We're
mean,
going
I come
straight for
here,
the
I see a
jugular.
bunch of llamas looking at me, and I feel like they're gonna attack me if I don't give them some alpha. All right, fine.
Take our money.
Take a buddy, throw it at me. Okay. So so I didn't tell it in Garrett's presentation,
Oh
but
shit! Here we go.
I got the feels for the llamas, man. I got llama feels right here. All right. It's deep. And Um, is this a recorded line?
Yeah, it's on recording.
Damn. Okay. All right. So people are gonna hear
I can
about it.
stop the recording at the end, and then you can do like a special thing at the end.
Yeah. No, let's do it. It's because we're gonna talk about it anyway. So I might as well let the cat out of the bag. To the people that I like, right? So I'm a big Llamas fan. When w- we are going to do a node sale for Paloma. The node sales, so node sales are hot, right? And
Mhm.
we did so. Oh, let me give you some background. Yes, Paloma did a round. The round was small. Paloma's main net round was about 1 million, and I like to do things small because again, I come from a background where it's like, hey, do it small so that people have a lot of upside, right? I'm not a person who wants to raise 100 million, out of the gate. It feels
Yeah.
weird if I got shame issues, right? I'm in therapy. I'm working on it, but so we did a very small round for Paloma, and then Volume did a small equity round and a seed round, about 5 million. So nothing grandiose. And so we've been eating ramen and red beans and rice, and working with it up until now. So now that we have, and so now that the relay market is going to launch, which is in about 2 weeks, and the relay market, again, we've been working 2 years testing. So we've been constantly releasing. If you ever look at our GitHub, you'll see every week we tag a new release for Paloma. Every week. Every Thursday is release week. So we have been continuously shipping releases, not mostly nonstop for the last 50 weeks in a year, maybe 100, 100 over the last 2 years. A little bit less because, we lost some people and, we have Christmas, the worst time of the year. But we've been continuously releasing, and now we're getting to the relay marketplace, and we have so much grains because that's what birds eat, right? We are like, how do we distribute it, right? And so the points meta has kind of passed. We were going to be like, hey, why don't we give points to people to use the bots on Curve? And it just wasn't something that inspired us. So birds eat grains, I know. A great quote. So we said, why don't we do a node sale? And of course, we're an American software team, so we have to realize that the SEC is going to call us and say, "Yo, bro, I heard you did something," and we're going to have to say, "Yeah, we did something. Here's what we did. We sold software." So our
Mm.
node sale is going to be a real software sale. It's a 2-year software subscription, and it is going to be a node, and a node is going to come up with about anywhere from 50,000 grains, and it will be on a pricing schedule that will be very, very cheap in the beginning. The FDV at the initial sale will be something like around 5 million. And so the software will require folks who have it won't be easy software to run because it's a bit, what the software, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to stake your grains across the validator set automatically, and then automatically claim inflation rewards and relay fee rewards automatically.
So
Right? And so
you're not running a Paloma validator with the node
you're
sale.
not going to run a Paloma validator. You're going to run what we call a Paloma light node. And the light node is your task as a Paloma community member, as a pigeon, is to delegate stake equally across all the validators so that we have a maintenance of equal powers in the set. Because in order to execute a relay transaction between chains, we have, it's a massive multi-sig, right? So everybody hates multi-sig, but it works. It's a massive multi-sig based on the powers. And so the more equal the powers, the easier it is for validators to enter and leave the system. But if a validator with a large amount of grains were to leave the system, then that would break the signature because that power is like 90%. So the Paloma network needs all, and if you ever see pigeons, there rarely is anything like a massively huge pigeon in a flock. All pigeons kind of look alike. They all have the
They're all the
same,
same size.
they're all the same size and they don't get too big. So the light node is to help maintain pigeon, some sort of pigeon size homogeneity. And that's the work you do in the network. Your work for your node is it's going to monitor the network, see which validators need some extra stake, put in the stake, collect winning rewards, redelegate. If it sees a validator is dead, remove stake, redelegate it to a live validator. This is all the work of the network. So that node sale is going to happen in 2.5 weeks, most likely August 7th. And of course, if you're early, you'll get very, very cheap grains and you will continue to make it. And a node costs $50. So you'll be like, Taariq, what's the opening price? It'll be like $50 for 50,000 grains. And all I have to do is run the software and that's it. And what can a software run? It can run on anything. It has to run at least on a computer with at least 8 megs of memory. But it might be able to run on a Raspberry Pi because it's just the Paloma client software making connections and automating. And so
Well, that's exciting.
if
I mean,
yeah,
what's the best way to be flagged when that goes live? Is just be in your Discord. Do you guys even have a Discord?
Yeah, we have a Discord at palomachain.com. We have a Telegram,
I figured
TM.
you were on Telegram. Is that a better
Yeah,
spot to be able to see like as
I
soon
think
as
it's a
you
better
announce
spot.
it?
Yeah, because because Discord can have all these channels, you just want like, hey, I want to be in announcements. We'll let people know. It's going to be in our community first. So it's kind of funny that the llamas hear about it before the pigeons because we haven't told the pigeons yet. So
Oh, they're gonna
llamas,
be pissed.
I
You'd
know
be
they're
a
going to
bunch of
start
pissed
flapping.
off fucking birds.
What did the llama spit? Um, but yeah, we're gonna do it, and our goal is again. Remember, what happened to Taariq? Why he's poor, right? Went in, got ETH at what 50 cents, and then said, "Fuck it, $20. I don't need this shit." When you get your
Yeah.
Paloma node, you're gonna say $50. Fuck it, I'm gonna leave it, let it run, and you know what? We'll see what happens in 5 years.
Do not sell your grains.
Do not sell your grains because we're positioning this as the future of work. The future of work is running nodes to protect networks and making it accessible to everybody is how we do it. And your networks will pay you relay fees, which you do not get. So you don't get relay fees in Axelar. You don't get relay fees in Wormhole. You do not get relay fees in Hyperlane. You do not get relay fees in Sommelier. With Paloma, will be the only chain. You don't get it with Layer 0, right? We're the only
They
chain
keep
that
all
will
the
say
fees, all the relay
they
fees.
love it. Of course, they fucking keep it.
That's why they're
And
not eating ramen and red beans and
yeah,
rice.
oh yeah, they totally fucking keep it. And they're like, oh, fuck you. We're like, no, the community, because it's a job. You're help securing the network and making sure it continues working. You will get paid, and as long as the volume of relays continue across more chains, you'll get paid more money. So Garrett came up, he called it a PIC-F, positive incremental cash flow. And we're like, yep, that's Paloma. And there you go.
All right, pick F. You have to be exhausted. It's fucking midnight.
It's midnight here, yeah.
And you've been going since Garrett starts at 7 o'clock US time.
Yeah,
So
I've been
you've been
going
going
since 8
all
a.m.
day.
8 a.m. Oh yeah, I've been going 8 a.m.
Well,
Central.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited about the node sale, and I want
Yeah.
to I want to relay the node sale to into our announcement channel when you
Yes,
guys launch.
yes,
No
yes,
pun
yes,
intended.
and we will. I again, the llamas have been so cool, and I'm so sorry that I am like have not been an active member of your community, but now I am. I'll be sure to share it because it's where it starts is community of people who sit up one late night and they're like, this fucking guy named Boy was talking some shit, and he said it at $50 thing. Let's just put $50 in and see what happens. We want to be that story. Like 5 years later, motherfucker. We want to be okay. You know what? That was a small play. It won. I ain't selling.
Oh, this
I
is
ain't fucking
exciting,
selling.
and go back and listen to the Leviathan news from this morning. It's
That's right.
July
Yeah.
19th. So
Yeah.
you can go back and listen to that one, and
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
this call and that one, I think you're gonna get everything you need about volume and Paloma. So
Yeah.
thank you
There's
for
a
being
lot of
on, Cody.
stuff. Thank you. I
Appreciate it.
absolutely privileged
I'm
privileged
gonna
to
go
be
kill
here.
the recording and appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. Rock and roll.